นนี้ตำรวจคือพวกผู้ฝูงชนทำร้ายนี่คือส่วนหนึ่งของการฝึกอบรมหลักสูตร904นี่คือส่วนหนึ่งการที่ผู้จัดการตำรวจจะไปคุมการจัดการเองเห็นเองให้ท้ายเองถึงกระทำอย่างนี้
are basically interested in Buddhism and meditation. Right, I would like to share the screen. And then we begin with a short chanting. Right, I already mentioned about this. So, and this is the program, just to remind you. And we always begin with introduction and welcome by me, Venerable Prama Pasquan Paso, and then I will lead everyone to say the preliminary homage in Pali language. And then I will invite, if we have to get speaker, I will introduce them, get speaker, and then the talk will go on, followed by question and answer. In normal session, we have 30-minute guided meditation, but on the day that we have to get speaker, it is absolutely depends on the guest speaker, and if they would like to speak longer, they can do a short meditation. And because when we are listening to a Dhamma talk, we can also meditate in the Buddha's lifetime when when lay people went to listen to the sermon from the Buddha. While listening to the sermon, they also meditated. After meditation, we normally read the loving kindness in Bali with English translation, and then transfer merit in Bali and English translation. Then we will reflect on 5 remembrances in Bali with English translation. And we normally finish with closing comments in Bali language. Right, and let me say welcome Venerable Dr. Pravithe Ratanaporn, or Dr. Handy Indisan. And he has been working as a Dharmatud monk in the United States for many, many years. And at the moment, and he's living at Wat Thai, Washington, D.C., USA, and he has the position as the General Secretary, Secretary General of the Council of Thai Bhikkhus in USA. Tonight, and he is going to give a talk on the timeless truths of the Dhamma, contribution to humanity. Venerable Sir, now the floor is yours. Yeah, please unmute yourself.
Namo Tatsa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Holy One, the Worthy One, the Self-Enlightened One. And with respect to the most venerable and venerables around the world, especially Pramaha Pasquan Paso, the Secretary General of the Thai Bhikkhu Sangha in UK, and the group leader today, that I would like to share with you. But first of all, we have to start sitting meditation, right? That the program that Tan Brahmapaskon just introduced to all of you about the chanting and meditation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to do the chanting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why.
okay, sorry. So let's do the chanting first, and then I will hand it back to you. All right. So I'm
Okay.
gonna share the screen again.
Chanting
And,
first.
yeah, chanting first. So I need to meet everyone because if everyone say at the same time, and then sound will be all overlapping.
Yeah.
Right, when you are ready, please palm your hands together, and then we're gonna say opening homage together in Bali. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Puttang Bhagavantang Abhivatemi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Right, we have done the preliminary homage, and the purpose of chanting from the Buddhist tradition is to pay respect to the Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, the Dharma, his teaching, and the Sangha, and the Holy Order. And when the Buddhists do chanting, they also have a chant to reflect on the teaching, like the meaning or the contents of the teaching. Right now, may I invite Venerable Dr. Pravit Theratanaporn to give a talk to our friends and members who may was on Facebook Live. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Venerable, please unmute yourself. You don't unmute yourself yet? Hello, perhaps he doesn't hear us. Yeah, please unmute yourself first.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Do you hear me? So now the session of meditation, right? Or Dhamma talk? Which one?
We do a talk first and followed by meditation. You can lead meditation.
Or after talk, then meditation,
Talk.
right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so I got confused because you said after chanting and then meditation and then Dhamma talk. So we switch to the Dhamma talk first, right? And then meditate. Okay. All right. So the topic that I would like to share with you today, due to the Buddha teaching that you have learned more and more in the text or from the teachers, from the master. But the teaching that I would like to introduce you today, the topics that the timeless truths of the Dhamma contribute to the humanity. So the Dhamma is more and more, as you know, in the Tipitaka, the Pali canons contain about 84,000 topics that includes the Abhidhamma, Vinaya, and Sutta. But the teaching that is being introduced here is a practical educational system for mental culture, which was revealed to the world some 25 centuries ago by the fully enlightened one, the Buddha, the compassionate teacher, that we can call religions or the teaching. I prefer to use the teaching. It's not religion, because this the way of practice. This teaching is also known as the middle way, a righteous way of life, an ethic philosophical system, and a religious of freedom and reason. It teaches us to do three main things, namely, keep away from bad deeds, to do good, and purify the mind. This message is very simple, meaningful, and practical. Yet people experience difficulties when they put them into practice. Due to inherent human weakness, the moral conduct of man plays the most important part in this religion, so in this teaching. This great teachers once said that my teaching is not to come and believe, but to come, see, and practice. It encourages people to study the teachings fully and so allow them to use their own judgment to decide to do whether they should accept the teachings or otherwise. No one is asked to come and embrace this teaching without first having an understanding of its teachings. There is one sutta in Sutta Tipitaka, Sangyutta Nikaya, Mahavakka, named Sisapanavasutta. Once the blessed one, the Buddha, was staying at the Gosampi city in the Sisapa forest. Then, picking up the few Sisapa leaves with his hand, he asked the monks, "What do you think, monks? Which are more numerous, the few Sisapa leaves in my hands or those overhead in the Sisapa forest?" "The leaves in the hands of the blessed one are few in number, Lord. Those overhead in the Sisapa forest are more numerous." In the same way, monks, those things that I have known with direct knowledge but have not taught are far more numerous than what I have taught. And why haven't I taught them? Because they are not connected with the goal, do not relate to the rudiments of a holy life, and do not lead to these enhancements, to dispassion, to cessation, to calm, to direct knowledge, to self-awakening, to unbinding. That is why I have not taught them. And what have I taught? It is suffering. It is the origination of suffering. It is the cessations of suffering. It is the path of practice leading to the cessations of suffering. It is what I have taught. And why have I taught these things? Because they are connected with the goal relate to the rudiments of the holy life and leads to these enhancements to this passion, to cessation, to calm, to direct knowledge, to self-awakening, to unbinding. It is why I have taught them. Therefore, your duty is contemplation. It is suffering. It is the origination of suffering. It is the cessation of suffering. Your duty is the contemplation. That is the path of practice leading to the cessation of suffering. What the Buddha taught in this sutta is only the Four Noble Truths. This is the necessary thing that you have to learn and put into practice. Suffering and no suffering. This is the key word that you have to understand. According to the Theravada Buddhism, the main things, but not the only thing. The Buddha teaches us only suffering and no suffering. The Buddha teaches is suffering and no suffering. What is the suffering? Suffering exists in life, and there is a way to get rid of it. Becoming sick, dying, experiencing what is not pleasant, not getting what one desires. All the many ways of being unhappy in life. Suffering also appears as a result of immoral actions. So the Four Noble Truths, avoiding the two extremes, the Buddha asks the followers to take the middle way, which opens the eyes and gives understanding, which leads to peace of mind, to the higher wisdom, to full enlightenment. In fact, according to the first noble truth, life is subject to suffering. There is the quotation that fit here. Now there is the noble truth of suffering. Birth is suffering. Decay is suffering. Sickness is suffering. Death is suffering. Connection with things one dislikes is suffering. Separation from things one likes is suffering. Not to get what one wants is suffering. In short, the five aggregates of clingings are suffering. When these conditions are analyzed one by one, we can see how painful they are. Every one of us has to face these conditions in this journey through life. Impermanence is a fact that applies to everything. There is nothing born or conditioned which is not subject to this law. Hence, the logics of Buddha's saying that whatever is impermanent is also painful. Thus, even the so-called pressures and end with the pain. This proves the truth of the statement that all conditions of life based on attachments are painful. The second noble truth is that suffering is caused by ignorance, which results in desire. All things and events are related as cause and effect. There is nothing in the world as it appears to us which falls outside the cause-effect relation. So, like everything else, suffering has its cause, and that cause is found not outside us, but within us. Now, what is that cause? It is the self-centered desire. Selfish desires are based on valuing everything in relation to oneself and show themselves in different forms, arguing, fighting, etc. The third noble truth is the suffering can be gotten rid of by the removal of desire. We now know that selfish desire is the cause of suffering. When the cause is removed, the effect will naturally cease. When desire is destroyed, suffering will also come to an end. The end of suffering is get rid of the something and reaching the bliss of enlightenment is gaining something. In other words, among this reaching enlightenment, there will be an end to all suffering. The four noble truths, the truth number 4, that's the fourth noble truth. The last one is the part, get rid of suffering. One can put an end to the suffering by choosing as one's own and following the path, the middle path that I would like to introduce to all of you. This is the most important, which for Buddhists is the philosophy of life itself, or the way of practice, or the way of life, whatever. The middle way of the overcoming oneself, which leads to the highest goal, has 8 parts. 8 spoke in the view that you can see the symbolic of Buddhism. It is the Noble Eightfold Path. Number 1, right understanding. Number 2, right thought. Number 3, right speech. Number 4, right action. Number 5, right livelihood. Number 6, right effort. Number 7, right mindfulness. Number 8, right concentration. You may remember all of those numbers, but what the real meanings of that? So you have to understand, and you can find out in the text or and then put into a practice. Okay, look at the right understanding. To begin walking the path, we must see life as it is, conditioned to its 3 characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and selflessness. We must also process a clear understanding of the nature of existence, of the moral law, and of the thing which go to make up the continuing circle of birth and death. So the right understanding, if you understand the 3 characteristics of existence, then you can follow the natural law. Why? Because of people now they against to this law. They don't follow. That's why they carry the burden or suffering in their shoulder. So number 2, right thoughts. This means that our mind should be pure, free from sensual desire, ill will, cruelty, and like things. At the same time, we should be willing to give up anything that blocks our mental and psychological progress. So right thought also, this is very important to clear an understanding, right understanding about that. And number 3, right speech. By holding oneself back from lying, speaking unfavorably about the persons behind this bad, harsh talk, and also from gossip. We create a connection between thought and action. Once, moreover, it is characterized by wisdom and kindness. Correct speech should not be too loud and excitable, not too brought about by prejudice, ill will, and selfish interest. It should not be just as excite patients or stir up their emotions. Number 4, right action. This, for the most part, consists of observing the 5 precepts, which can be shown in both their positive and negative character. A, not to kill, but to practice love and harmlessness to all. B, not to take what is not given, but to practice love and generosity. C, not to misuse the senses, but to practice purity and self-control. D, not to give into desire for wrong speech, but to practice sincerity and honesty. E, not to take intoxicant drinks or drugs, which cause heedlessness, but to practice self-control and mindfulness. For the ordinary Buddhist, moreover, it is absolutely necessary for him to practice all these precepts if he wishes to aim for the higher life. So the 5 precepts is the basic rule, is very important for men and women or everyone who walk of life and put into practice in daily life. This is a basic rule. And number 5 is the right livelihood. The layman should pursue an occupation only if it does not cause harm or injustice to other human beings. To deceive others, to betray the trust of others, or to practice fortune telling, for example, are regarded as wrong livelihood. The traditional occupations from which a layman is prohibited are dealing in a weapon, B, living beings, and C, intoxicating drinks or drugs, and E, poison. Being a sawyer, fisherman, hunter, etc. are also excluded. We should be free from greed in financial dealings. It should be honest and upright. It should have nothing to do with prostitution of any kind. He should have a sense of service and duty in life. Number 6, right effort. Self-perfection can be achieved by avoiding the rejecting unhealthy quality while gaining and developing skillful ones. Right effort is divided into 4 parts. A, the effort to prevent the arising of unskilled thoughts, words, and deeds which have not yet arisen. And B, the effort to force whatever is skillful that has already arisen. And C, the effort to stir up a healthy thoughts, words, and actions. And D, the effort to further the growth of all the good words thoughts, and action which are already present. And number 7, right mindfulness. This means a state of constant awareness with regard A, our body, B, a feeling, and C, the mind, and D, mental objects. Mind, according to Buddhism, is the sixth sense and nothing more. The development of mindfulness is necessary to present the practitioner from being led in the wrong direction by incorrect views. That it is the end of the process which connect to the direct insight into things as they really are. These marks are the further set up from the point where things were known only by the different is shown in here, or just differences are set aside. Although things seem good or bad, right or wrong, just attitudes as these only go to prove how the mind feels things in an incomplete way. The process of thoughts is food for the mind that makes it able to determine that truth clearly. Here, we should do beyond opposite like good or bad, etc. If we are to make progress and see the true meaning and relationship of all conditioned things. Number 8, right concentration. At the final step, we should aim at one pointness of mind direct toward a wholesome object. Through desire and craving, the root of most unhealthy, willful acts add up, making rebirth unavoidable. To overcome this process, we must first understand that everything is impermanent, unsatisfactory, or suffering, and not a real self. True knowledge of this kind of obtained through the practice of meditation, of which we are to pass that active one of the practice and the passive ones making real. To meditate, we should sit quietly with a calm mind and clear mind. So everyone, right now, I think you are in the position of meditation. You are ready to meditate, or you already sit in the position of meditation. So now we start practice together, and in the same time listening to the talk. So we sit quietly, and we try to adjust our body and mind. And when we sit upright with a calm mind, and if our thoughts wander, how to deal with that, When your thoughts are wandering outside, each and least control the mind once again by stopping these thoughts and getting rid of them. Just back to the normal, back to your breathing. We breathe naturally. The breath must not be controlled or forced. Your breath, not to oppose in any way. So otherwise, it is impossible to understand the important message they have to tell. Means that you not to force your breath or your mind, but you just relax, sit comfortably, and sometimes you have the technique of counting, like a counting usually necessary at first to make sure that concentration occurs, but they can be set aside once when we have firm hold of our mind and can prevent them from the wandering away from the task, or when your mind stays still in one point, and then you just observe your breathing in and out. In this connection, there are 5 mental hindrances to be gotten rid of, or at least weakened in order to make progress in the practice. So the obstacle or mental hindrances, there are sensuality, ill will, laziness, restlessness, and regret, and skeptical doubt. So when you're sitting meditation, so that the 5 hindrances means that the mental obstacle, something will occur during that time. Once the destructive influence of the hindrances is removed, we will be able to concentrate more easily, making it possible for our higher goal to become clearer. We have to undergo some long training to reach this point. But when we do, concentration is gained. Concentration, which is the way to making enlightenment real. So when we practice meditation, some people may have the counting technique. You may count your breath, breathing in and out, count 1, breathing in and out, count 2, count 3, 4, 5, up to 10, and then reverse to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, up to 1, back and forth, and then make your mind stay still in the one pointness. So the Dhamma talk that I'd like to share with you tonight, so about the Noble Eightfold Path and the 4 Noble Truths. And also in the 4 Noble Truths, there are the 3 for training, the path leading out of unhappiness to enlightenment, has 3 parts, that there are 3 things: morality, concentration, and wisdom. So as you know, morality is a sila. The first part includes all the virtues of an honest person who treats others kindly. It has been understood to be the same as all the virtues together, and many admirable qualities have been explained in relation to things perfect, like purification and restraint as regards the body, speech, and the mind, action, words, and thoughts. So morality is usually understood as referring to the 5 precepts that I just mentioned earlier, which make up the layman and laywoman moral practice. It's a basic rule that I just mentioned earlier. So we have to follow as the moral code for the lay practitioner. And if you like to practice more, and then you can observe the 8 precepts and stay in the monastery or temple as the observation day, like Uposatha day or the Buddhist holiday in the temple. Or furthermore, if you like to left behind the household life, and then you can ordain as a novice, take 10 precepts. So this is only man, but women also can do as the nun. Yeah, take the 8 precepts as the Thai tradition that we do, and then practice in the temple. And also for the man, if you want to get higher ordination, you can ordain as a monk and observe the precept like 227 rules and stay in a monastery. But this is the way to, lead the holy life, and then practice meditation. That's the step number 2 in the threefold training after morality, and then meditation or concentration, meditation, and insight meditation. In Theravada Buddhism also develop the mind in concentration, meditation, and insight meditation. So all of you come to this group to practice together. So I think you have learned a lot about the concentration meditation and insight meditation because of many masters, especially from Thailand or from Southeast Asia country, and they have learned and practiced in this technique. In concentration meditation, in one form or some other form, we pay attention to the movement of the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And so we remove from the mind just poison as an anchor or stress. In the first period, when I have been invited to give a talk, I introduced you about mental detoxification and relaxation. So that's a technique to reduce the stress or depress that meditation can help, and very effective to our life to practice that technique. And this concentration helps prepare us for insight meditation, because if the mind scatter or wandering mind, so how can you focus, or how can you put into consideration about some elements to understand nama and rupa, and then you can concentrate in the one pointness. So the concentration meditation, or in Pali that we call samatha bhavana, that is the technique to stop the wandering mind and clear the mind, calm the mind, and get ready for the insight meditation. Insight meditation, we observe closely our body, feelings, mind means that states of mind, and mental objects. In this way, we are able to keep step back from everything that is happening in our experience and gain insight into what is making place in our mind and in the world. So insight meditation, we make our whole life a life of meditation. So you can practice in any way, anytime, any situation. We meditation all day long, actually. So if you can attain the course, that meditation course or meditation retreat, we can meditate all day long. Whatever we are doing, we maintain our awareness, mindfulness, that the master must remind us all the time that, okay, be mindful, Be mindful walking, be mindful sitting, be mindful eating, be mindful every moment. Watching how feelings of pleasures or displeasure, state of mind like an anger or selfish desire, selfish views come and go. So we have to concentrate and see it clearly. We see how all this can bring suffering. So we study about the suffering, the arisings of suffering or the facing away of suffering. We make concentration to our behavior to put a stop to this suffering, because the suffering or something that disturb in your life, disturb in your behavior. So when we concentrate or pay attention, pay more attention to that kind of thing, so you can see and can stop it, suffering. In the process of our insight meditation, we discover the three characteristics of existence. So this is the keyword. It is the very important thing that I mentioned earlier about the three characteristics of existence. Number one is impermanence. Number two is a suffering. Number three is a no self. Through this practice of meditation, we learn eventually how to let go of everything and everyone in the world and achieve inner peace and freedom. We learn to see our world without adding any feelings or personal views to our experience and so on. So we keep suffering from arising and we see the real situation that they call, we can see what they are, what it is. It's not we see what we want to be or we want to have. So this is the benefit of meditation, or when you practice insight meditation or concentration meditation first and then insight meditation. What is the purpose of meditation? For all schools of Buddhism, Mahayana school, Theravada school, or Vajrayana school, the highest goal of practice is enlightenment, Nibbana in Pali, Nirvana in Sanskrit, and the extinction of defilements in English, that I can say that. The extinction of suffering, the extinction of defilements, of desire. So this is the cause of suffering. The root of suffering means that the mental defilements, the lopa, greedy, dosa, hatred, and moha, delusion or ignorance. That's the root of mental defilement. So Nibbana or Nirvana means that the extinction of mental defilements. So this is the end of my talk for tonight. I think you can gain the benefit from that and then put into practice that we practice together right now, sitting meditation. Okay, you sit and take a deep breath because we have time about 15 minutes from now, I think. Then we can sit quietly observe your mind, observe your thought, and also observe your body. When you sit, you may feel good or feel uncomfortable, or you can feel any kind of thing that arise, and then you observe it. Observe your feeling, your thought, your feeling in the body, physical feeling, and mental feeling. Which one is appear, then you put into your observation, focus on that kind of feeling. Or if you feel neutral, nothing, just to sit and relax. So your mind will settle down, go to deep and deep meditation. So now we will take about 10 minutes, then I'll stop using my voice.
Right, could you please palm your hands together? And I'm gonna say in Bali, and then for English, we're gonna say together. Ahang Sukito Homi, Nitoko Homi, Avero Homi, Apaya Pacho Homi, Niko Homi, Sukhi Attanang, Pariharami. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from hurtfulness. May I be free from troubles of body and mind. May I be able to protect my own happiness. Sapphe satta, sukhita hontu, nittukha hontu, avera hontu, appaya pacha hontu, anikha hontu, sukhi attanang, pariharantu. Whatever beings there are, may they be happy. May they be free from suffering. May they be free from hatred. May they be free from hurtfulness. May they be free from troubles of body and mind. May they be able to protect their own happiness. And now, transference of merit. I will say only in Bali. For English, we will say it together. Itang me mata pitunang hotu sukhita hontu mata pitaro. May this merit accrue to my mother and father. May they be well and happy. Itang me karunang hotu sukhita hontu karuno. May this merit accrue to my teachers. May they be well and happy. Itang me yati mittanang hotu sukhita hontu yati mitta. May this merit accrue to all my relatives and friends. May they be well and happy. Itang me kuno pakarakanang hotu sukhita hontu kuno pakaraka. May this merit accrue to my supporters, benefactors. May they be well and happy. Itang me sapphe sang tewanang hotu sukhita hontu sapphe tewa. May this merit accrue to all gods. May they be well and happy. Itang me sapphe sang petanang hotu sukhita hontu sapphe peta. May this merit accrue to hungry ghosts. May they be well and happy. Itang me verinang hotu sukhita hontu verino. May this merit accrue to my enemies. May they be well and happy. Itang me sapphe sang sattanang hotu sukhita hontu sapphe satta. May this merit accrue to all beings. May they be well and happy. Now we're going to reflect on the 5 remembrances. You may repeat after me in Pali. For English, we will say together. Chara dhammom hi, charang anatito. I'm of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. Payati dhammom hi, payating anatito. I'm of the nature to have ill health. there is no way to escape having ill health. Marana Dhammom hi Maranang Anatito. I'm of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. Sapphe hi me piye hi Matna pe hi Nana pavo Vitna pavo. All that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature to change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. Kamma sakom hi Kamma Tayato, Kamma Yoni, Kamma Pantu, Kamma Pati Sarano, Yang Kammang, Garitsami, Gan La Yanangwa, Pa Pakangwa, Tatsa Tayato, Pavisami. My actions are my only true belongings. I am the heir to my actions, born of my actions, related to my actions, abide supported by my actions. Whatever actions I shall do, for good or for ill, of that I will be the heir. Ewang amhehi apinhang pajawe kitapang. Thus, we choose frequently recollect. Right, before I conclude section 4 tonight, I just would like to remind everyone again that next Tuesday on the 9th of March, I'm going to give a talk on finding right meditation method. And again, we're going to start from 7:30 until 9. And then on the third Saturday, and we are going to hear the talk by Kun Kamuntip Evans on coping with fear. Coping with fear on Saturday the 20th of March. And last but not least, on the 23rd of March, and Dr. Sangthong Pensei Sai is going to give a talk on what is important in life. And I try to invite more guest speakers, and then I will update you all with the name and the title of talk. Right now, we're going to say closing homage, and after that, I will open the floor for question and answer. I thought Venerable will welcome question and answer after this closing homage. Now we're going to say homage together in Pali language only. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Puttang Bhagavantang Abhivatemi Sawakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang namami. Okay, now the time is 6 to 9, and I think we still have some time for question and answer. If you have question to ask in relation to the topic tonight, and you are welcome. Okay, anyone who would like to ask question, just unmute yourself and then you can speak straight away. Yeah, perhaps I ask a question on behalf of the members and also on behalf of many people. And today you mentioned about the Four Noble Truths, and many people wonder what is the use of understanding the Four Noble Truths in their daily life. Because last time when I was invited to give a talk at Faith Group in Roehampton, they said that whenever I read about Buddhism, it always talks about suffering. They feel like in Buddhism that there are a lot of negativity. This is what they feel for general people. So, Venerable, what is your response to this kind of question? Yeah, please prepare yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, very good question. And I has been asked many times about that, about the suffering. Why Buddha taught or mentioned about suffering rather than happiness. So nowadays people, they don't understand the suffering is. That's why they try to escape or run away from suffering. So it's not way to escape, because the Buddha said, suffering, you should realize it. You just recognize it, and then try to find out the root of suffering. So when you face the problem, and then you have to look back to the cause of suffering, and then stop the cause of suffering, and then the suffering will be ceased. The suffering will be stopped. So actually, the real happiness that the people try to find out, there is no real happiness in the real life. Only how to reduce the suffering, and then the happiness will be arise. So suffering and happiness is in the same coin but different sides. So if we understand this situation, and then the people will reduce the suffering. So in Buddhism, Buddha does not teach optimistic or pessimistic, but teach realistic of life. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your answer. Right. Anyone who still want to ask question? No? You are
No question, no problem. Fully understanding, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. On behalf of the group, I would like to say thank you very much to the Venerable Dr. Pravitet Ratanaporn, or Dr. Handy Indisan, for giving a talk tonight. He will come back later on. I will try to invite more monks from not only from the Thai tradition, but also from other traditions. The purpose of this is to give you the variety of understanding. So if we hear only Thai tradition, you will have the idea of Thai Buddhism, but if you have a chance to learn more about other tradition or other teachers, and then you can see the variety. Well, I would like to say thank you to all participants, to all audiences who may was on Facebook Live. Next session will be on Tuesday, the 9th of March. I'm going to give a talk on finding right meditation method. Thank you again, Venerable. I wish you a good day. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Good night, everyone. Good night.